What is up, guys? And today I'm gonna be showing you how I installed my flamethrower kit on the Pathfinder. The Nissan V6s, at least the older ones, do not have a dedicated fuse for the coil packs. So you have to tap into the coil pack wire rather than a fuse, because the ignition fuse in the fuse box on here actually controls the injectors also. So you have to tap the wire instead of the fuse, or else you're just cutting off the engine instead of cutting off just the spark. Let me get the hood open and I can show you the wire that I cut for it. All right, so here we are in the engine bay. Ignore my other mess of wires. That's for my lights. So here, these two wires are both sides of the ignition wire. And so those go, it's behind this engine cover, but those go into the harness that you can see it poking out right here. It's this harness, and it comes out of there in this little loop. Let me see if I can show you on the other side. Oh yeah. So right here, this loop is the wire, but I just tapped it on that side, so because the firewall pass-through is over there. But this is the wire that comes out of this harness that goes all the way back, that you need to tap for this specific vehicle. I'm trying to see if I can show you. Yeah, it's kind of buried under that engine cover, but I can throw up a picture. But yeah, so that's the wire you're tapping, but it's on the other side. And so that cuts the spark to the engine without cutting fuel to the engine, which is what you want, because you want the fuel to pass through the engine and go into the exhaust. So the wire passes through behind the brake booster. You can see the mess of wires back there, but it goes behind the brake booster right here, and then goes through that into the car. And then once you get into the car, I have the switches mounted. So I did this a little bit different than normal, than you really have to. I did a little bit extra. But so this is the button that comes with the kit, and that's what basically it's a reverse button. So when you're not pressing it, the current is flowing, and when you are pressing it, the current stops. And so since you have the two ignition wires, the two sides of the ignition loop going through the button, when you press it, it breaks the signal, and that's what gives you your fuel or your ignition cut. And so this switch right here, this switch I added on my own, and that goes to the spark plug in the exhaust. So usually the wire for the spark plug comes straight off this and then goes to the back, but I added this switch because I want to be able to flip on and off the spark plug. Alright, so I don't think I did a really good job explaining why I added the switch. So ignoring my terrible art skills, in the diagram the red thing is the button, and the blue wires are the ignition wires, and the purple wire is the wire that goes back to the spark plug. So the reason I added the switch is so I could control whether or not the spark plug comes on when I press the red button. Back here, here's the spark plug wire, this little black wire, and that goes all the way back. I just had to push my subwoofers out of the way to show you this, but so once the spark plug wire gets to the back of the car, it goes from that button into this module that they send you. And then I have this grounded out to the frame right there. All right, so this right here is the wire that goes to the spark plug under the car. And I just drilled a hole to get down there. All right, so that wire that goes through the hole, it comes out right there, you can see it, and then it goes down into the spark plug boot, and then the spark plug boot is on the spark plug, which is welded into the exhaust, and then obviously I have the crazy side exit. So obviously for this kit, I'm catless, but if you look under the car, it still looks like I have cats. I don't know if you can see it right there. Let's see. Yeah, so there's that right there. That's the secondaries right there and there. And then if I go a little further, you can see the primaries are right there. So it looks like I have them still, but I actually just knocked out the honeycomb with a hammer. So it's functionally straight pipe, because there's no stuff in there. I do get a check engine light for that, but it's an old car. I don't really care. So yeah, I don't really care about the check engine light because it's an old car. And it doesn't actually affect performance at all, because the O2 sensor that the car gets its air-fuel ratio information from is before any of the catalytic converters. So getting rid of them doesn't really change it. It's just because there's two sets of O2 sensors to get the information before and after the primary catalytic converters, that you get the check engine light. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the installation and how I did it. So I'll go ahead and throw up some clips of this thing shooting fire, and it is especially for this car, you would not expect it because it's a Pathfinder. So I'll make sure I note whether or not I have the spark plug switch turned on, because it does make a difference in how it works. So yeah, I'll make a note of that when I put up the clips. And yeah, so it's the video doesn't do it justice on sound. It sounds crazy in person, which is the other thing, because it's just the way it sounds, you would not expect this car to be making it. I also forgot to mention that with the switch off, the car has to be warmed up before it can shoot flames, but with the switch on, I can do it if the car's cold. Hope you enjoy. That's gonna do it for the video, and see you later.